in the scheme of things, I am new to this deep inner work. Overarching, and I kind of mentioned that yesterday, that part of my own pressure, my own internal pressure, comes from how come you don't know more. And I will give myself the nod that I have come very far in a short time. But today I read this phrase and I just thought it was so beautiful, and I think it's so true. It doesn't matter where you enter the work. It doesn't matter whether you are fed up feeling unwell in your body and you want a better communication with your body, a better presence within your body, whether you've been through a trauma that is emotionally bringing you to look deeper inside, whether some of your relationships are just not functioning, or maybe you're making the same mistake again and again and again, and you know that that has something to do with pattern, maybe even a generational pattern that you've inherited. It doesn't matter how you enter that place of work. What does matter, first of all, is that you have the hunger to attempt it, that you want to know more. Most people suppress, and either that all blows up in their face and maybe that explosion brings them to the work, or they spend their entire lives basically just squashing all of their shadow, their issues, their whatever you want to call it, because they don't call it out and they don't look to deal with it. It will always come up, and usually in the case of self-sabotage. But what I wanted to offer today, again, no matter what your approach to the work is, no matter how you come at it, each one of us is building this cathedral of consciousness. I just thought that was such a beautiful phrase, because Christian or not, when I stepped foot into St. Peter's Square, I dropped to my knees. I was leveled with the amount of God that's in that space. And that has nothing to do with an organized religion God. It has to do with these artisans letting the love of God come through their bodies and creating these sculptures and creating this space, let alone the sculptures that are inside. And it was a physically moving, I could not get over how physically moved I was. I could barely get up off my knees. And that to me is that feeling of creating a cathedral. Now that one happens to be a physical cathedral, but each one of us, each time we face something, each time we break a barrier, each time we choose differently, we are building one of those beautiful bricks that it takes to build that cathedral of consciousness. And what I invite you to do every day here, the whole purpose of this channel and the Body of Truth is I always offer you something to consider. And your act of consideration of that is your brick for the day. And if that's a ripple effect where then you ask your friend, I heard this morning, what do you think about this? Right? And then so on and so on. That's the ideal, is that when enough people wake up to look within, because in order to change your outsides, you must start within. Your example, right? So that phrase, be the change that you want to see in the world. There needs to be enough of us concentratedly working towards the truth to start to turn the tide. And I know you feel that pressure and oppression and division that is artificially being thrust upon us. And the best way to fight that, to me, it's not to get political, it's to go within. So that when you show up, you're showing up all the way. And you're showing up unfiltered, unhurted, and freer. Because each of those bricks can't be made by a slave. Those bricks must be made by free men and women. That cathedral is a cathedral to freedom. And not everyone wants that. It's a lot of responsibility to take responsibility. But even the process, bloody and painful though it is still amazing and fulfilling and thrilling. So no matter where you are in the work, I invite you to create your brick today, to add it to the foundation of that cathedral that we are building towards something glorious. And that is what I lead you to consider today. And I will see you tomorrow.